What is happening, YouTube, and welcome back, guys, to another episode on Mob Talk UK. It's been quite a while since the last video. Been busy with a few other things, but now we're getting right back into it. This video is an update on Colleen Campbell, who was implicated in setting up the murder of her drug dealing husband Thomas Campbell, which was a very big crime which happened a couple of years ago in the town of Mosley, Greater Manchester. Colleen Campbell has been hauled back before the courts after she was caught on camera using a hammer in a shocking street attack fueled by a love rivalry. A victim was set upon in the street in Ashton-Under-Lyne by an armed gang. Colleen Campbell, 41, two other women, Hannah Derbyshire, 27, and Chloe Bamford, 30, and Simon Bolden, 38, were all involved in the vicious, brutal street attack. Minshall Street Crown Court has heard that it was motivated by a row over a love triangle. Derbyshire and the victim, a woman named Naomi Wazik, were both said to be in a relationship with the same person, a man named James Heaney. Campbell is currently serving a 13-year prison sentence over the killing of her ex-husband, drug dealer Thomas Campbell. Campbell was tortured to death in his own home after being pounced on by three men as he opened his front door in Mosley, Tameside, at about 11 p.m. on July the 2nd, 2022. The 38-year-old, a convicted drug dealer, suffered horrendous injuries and was found dead in his home the next day. His ex-wife Colleen was found guilty of manslaughter and conspiring to rob following a trial in 2023. She provided information to the killers about Thomas's whereabouts and assisted with the planning. Two men were also convicted in connection with their roles within the robbery conspiracy and the killing of Thomas, one for murder and another for manslaughter. A third man accused of murder is set to go on trial in the coming months. Campbell, with black hair, a black t-shirt and black trousers, appeared in court on April the 14th by video link from Category C prison HMP Drakehall in Staffordshire. Prosecuting, Danielle Gilmore told how Campbell was driving a VW Tiguan with the three of the defendants in the car on June the 29th, 2022. She drove to the junction of Rutland Street and Granville Street in Ashton-Under-Lyne, where the victim, Miss Wazik, was walking. The car stopped and the four occupants got out. The shocking attack was caught on CCTV footage. Derbyshire emerged first and began raining down blows and kicks to Miss Wazik. Bolden, armed with a 2-foot-long drill bit, pulled a balaclava down over his face as he left the car. Colleen Campbell, wearing all black, was armed with a hammer. She could be seen on CCTV to strike out and hit Miss Wazik with it multiple times. Miss Wazik was then brought to the floor as the three female attackers surrounded her as she was kicked and assaulted on the ground. About 90 seconds after arriving, the four attackers got back in the Tiguan motor and fled the scene. Campbell stole Miss Wazik's handbag, which was found in her home when the police searched it. As they fled, a rock was thrown towards the car, which smashed its windscreen. All four lied or made no comment statements when questioned by the police, the judge said. Bamford claimed she had been acting in self-defence, while Bolden said that he had been in Manchester city centre at the time. It is not known whether Miss Wazik suffered any injuries as she refused to cooperate with police. All four defendants pleaded guilty to violent disorder. Campbell also admitted theft. Defending Colleen, Bob Elias said that in the short time he spoke with her before the hearing, the defendant appeared an amiable, bright and pleasant woman. What a joke. After the judge interjected and said the prison sentence he was going to pass would be concurrent rather than consecutive to a 13-year sentence, Mr. Elias concluded his submissions. Representing Bolden, Constance Halliwell said that the defendant had been recalled to prison on a life licence since August 2022, which he received as part of an intermediate sentence for public protection for robbery. She said Bolden has a son who has just started high school and that he is his motivation to keep himself on the straight and narrow. Defending Bamford, Umar Shahzad, said the defendant has no previous convictions and has been diagnosed with mental health conditions. She's completing a university degree and is also a self-employed beauty technician, he said. For Derbyshire, John Richards said she works as a catering assistant and in a pub and has been the victim of domestic violence. He He said she is thoroughly ashamed of her behaviour and that was a one-off. Both Bamford and Derbyshire had no previous convictions. Sentencing recorder Michael Blakely said, on June the 29th, 2022, the four of you went in a car, clearly a planned adventure, to a place, Granville Street in Ashton-Under-Lyne, where the victim in this case, Miss Wazik, was assaulted. The motive behind this appears to be the relationship that there was between you, Hannah Derbyshire, and somebody called James Heaney. Miss Wazik was involved in a relationship with him also. The four of you went in the car, 3 of you armed, Miss Campbell with a hammer, you, Hannah Derbyshire, didn't arm yourself, and you, Miss Bamford, with a rolling pin. Mr. Bolden, you had a 2-foot-long drill bit in your possession. It must have been a very frightening and scary situation which arose, and no doubt put people who were watching what was going on in fear themselves. He told Campbell, you armed yourself with a hammer. You in fact used the hammer on the victim in this case. I have read information which suggests you, while you have been in custody, have developed insight, and you have attended courses and are doing all you possibly can to reform yourself. That is to be commended. Colleen Campbell and Bolden, both of no fixed address, were sentenced to 18 months in prison each. Derbyshire of Bristol Street, Clayton, and Bamford of John Beeley Avenue, Openshaw, were both handed suspended prison sentences. Derbyshire was sentenced to 16 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. Bamford was sentenced to 10 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. The pair were both ordered to complete 100 hours of unpaid work and attend 20 rehabilitation activity requirement days. Now, it's interesting to know that this attack on Miss Wazik in the street in Ashton-Under-Lyne, which Colleen Campbell took part in, took place the same week that Colleen was also conspiring to have her husband Thomas Campbell murdered. It's fair to say she was on quite a roll that week. As always, guys, to my fellow subscribers, I love you all. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Mob Talk UK. Until the next time, be well, be safe, look after yourselves. See you later, guys.